Sonic X Shadow Generations released October 25th, 2024. For me, it was an exciting time to be a fan, but at the time of this video, it's been a year and I've yet to actually post a video review of the game. We just recently got news that Sega has trademarked the name Shadowthehedgehog. Yes, just Shadow the Hedgehog, whatever that means. It's definitely intriguing, so I thought I'd go over how I felt about Shadow Generations and see if I feel the same now. The conclusion may surprise you, or not. I'm a Fox boy named Axe, and you are a Sonic fan watching Sonic Facts. The franchise is no stranger to leaks, and in January 2024, a user named SpecialNick tweeted on the 31st, roughly, Ronins will rise, will die stranded, have a rebirth, and Kojima will fulfill his dream. Sonic will live in the shadow of his generation while the hills remain silent until the dawn when you'll need to catch the metro. Just don't be a Judas about it. This alluded to an upcoming State of Play presentation by Sony, hinting at numerous games that would be revealed. People interpreted this as some kind of Sonic Generations remaster featuring Shadow, later being rumored to be called Sonic X Shadow Generations. It was so hard to believe because of how bizarre it was, but then... holy crap! Sonic X Shadow is official! No, not that. This is wild. If anything, we were expecting Shadow to just be playable. But a whole second campaign and new levels? People were hyped. And most surprisingly, I was excited to see Black Doom again. That's so weird. Sonic Frontiers sparked a lot of hope for the games again, but the main negative towards the game, aside from Sonic's very odd voice direction, were the cyberspace stages, which half of were based on past designs anyways. Yet, the gameplay felt clunky. It was fun to speedrun, but definitely didn't feel standard, and that's the primary concern going into this game. Disappear! Oh, well, I stand corrected. Yeah, actually, the gameplay looks pretty sick, and the level and boss choices? Holy! And on top of it all, we got a series of animations called Dark Beginnings that was just amazing, and what the... The game finally released on October 25th, 2024. Of course, the game was also available for early access on October 22nd, which I live streamed on the Hedgehog Zone, and you can check that out to see me play the thing. That said, this channel was made earlier in 2024, mostly focused on news surrounding Sonic Movie 3 and Shadow Generations as we experienced Sega's fearless Year of Shadow, and yet, as stated at the beginning, I haven't posted a review of the game yet, and it's been a year. I guess that also means it's been over a year since I started this channel as well. I don't have a milestone video or anything. I don't even have 100 subs yet, which is fine because like 90 the last I checked. Still a lot of people for someone like me. That would definitely crowd a room. And actually, I'd like to take a moment to just thank Vikram Leon, Legendary Blue Speed Angel, Sonic.exe 56, Shadow Milk Cookie, and the many of you who decided to subscribe to me for who knows why. I'm sure it couldn't have been the old, don't forget to like and subscribe, but it means a lot. I don't post constantly, I don't have time, I have work, some days overtime, other hobbies and projects, people I need to lend my time to. It's nice to know that the work I put into making these videos just to talk about Sonic with other Sonic fans is worth it on some level. I try to upgrade the quality or experience of the videos little by little through editing, art, animation. Yeah, I do a lot of my own art here, which brings me back to the game's release, because the day after the game came out, there was a meet and greet with almost the entire Adventure/Heroes voice cast. I posted a video already of when I met the 4 OG voice actors in April 2024, but I had the chance to meet them again and plus some. And in preparation for that, I was working on a special art project. A video is also being posted surrounding this as well. If it's not already posted when this video is up, it will be soon. Working on this art project took up the time that I would have been working on a Shadow Generations video. And I planned to post both videos together but ended up having to move on due to other things coming up. But now, we're finally caught up. When Sonic X Shadow Generations came out, I started off playing Sonic Generations again to warm myself up. I gotta say, I don't know if it's just in my head, but it feels a little different. It looks the same to me despite all the alleged graphical changes, but the controls feel a little different. Couldn't you use the D-pad to move Classic Sonic before, to emulate the old days if you wanted? I can't seem to do it here. I don't know if it's just my configuration or what. It's neat that we have leaderboards, probably the only way the drop dash is really useful. In fact, a year later and I almost completely forgot that it was added, and that's to both classic and modern Sonic apparently. I was excited to hear about the story rewrites and disappointed it was just a pointless script change. Some new lines are pretty cool, but otherwise it just feels wrong, and maybe because I'm used to the other lines already. Some lines are awkwardly placed too, like they don't match the animation. I recall everyone pointing out the moment Classic Sonic was rubbing his belly at the mention of Angel Island.
Thanks, Sonic. Now then, tell me, where is the rest of my island?
And I don't mind the changes to Amy in this game as much, even though I don't really care for the general direction they're taking her, but to each their own, and that's a video for another time. That said, I do think this line is a bit
You saved me, Sonic! I'll be sure to return the favor next time around.
Not really worrying about that right now, Amy.
I do like that Sonic actually responds, and granted, the original line was pretty bad as well.
You saved me, Sonic! I was afraid I'd never be able to flirt with you again.
I think that they could have gone with a one-sided lovesick thing, since that is their dynamic. Shippers be damned. Something like,
You saved me, Sonic! Nothing can stand in the way of true love.
I don't think that's the main takeaway here, Amy.
I consider this a nitpick. They missed the opportunity to iron out some of the few other things holding it back, but Sonic Generations was, and still is, one of my S-rank Sonic games personally. A league that cannot be surpassed, only joined. However, do not play it immediately after Shadow Generations or it will feel extremely dated, because Shadow Generations storms onto the scene going even further beyond. It's the levels they chose, as bizarre as some of the choices were. It's the stage design, so many pathways, or simply different ways to tackle a single pathway, allowing you to truly play however you want without it always being scripted or memorized. It's the physics. They have not been this buttery smooth and precise since the adventure days. The graphics, the story, the music. Well, okay, the music could have been better, but hey, what's wrong with EDM? As long as it's not the entire franchise, I don't see anything wrong with owning style for the campaign. Some tracks aren't that great in my opinion. But some are pretty great. The voice acting is top-notch. Kirk Thornton is still my least favorite Shadow voice, to no fault of his own. I think Kirk Thornton himself is a legend.
He's just trying to cause trouble. He's playing games with your mind.
There are many things that are mysterious about Don Patch, my friend.
I actually thought you were dead, Toby. So, let us raise the curtain. Bunkai. I have stellar expectations for you, too. And what a marvelous surprise to see that you haven't snapped already!
But I don't care for it for Shadow. To me, Shadow sounds more like this.
A jewel containing the ultimate power.
Not...
I'll overcome every obstacle with this power.
That said, I may not prefer this voice for Shadow, but if we have to deal with it, I'm glad to say that Kirk Thornton made Shadow sound likable and cool nonetheless, especially in Dark Beginnings. It's kinda weird, liking his performance of a version of Shadow I don't prefer. These feelings are complicated, man. Stephanie Shea as Maria is perfect, almost feels like she was always Maria. Ben Diskin was a really good replacement voice for Black Doom. Black Doom in general was a lot cooler in this game for some reason. I don't really care for Mike Pollock's voice of Gerald Robotnik in Sonic X or Shadow 5, but in this game, it might be my favorite. Rouge is hit and miss. In Dark Beginnings, she sounds really similar to Lonnie Minella from Sonic Adventure 2.
Well, you're out of luck here. This is just a supply depot.
I guess I'm going to have to find that key first.
But then we get some lines in-game that are just delivered weird.
A fine time for you to be honorable. As a professional jewel thief, I approve. Whatever.
Rouge is another character they downgraded, by the way, for some reason I can't understand. I know there's a whole back and forth discourse online about it, but we've already had 20 years of kids see those things who are already adults or soon becoming adults. It is too late, brother. Fortunately, the changes aren't big. They're actually small. Jokes aside, the changes are so minuscule that I don't see why they did it. No one is going to draw her with the weird clipping in the back of her suit and the wings and whatever, and the devs clearly don't agree with the body shaming, I mean censoring, because good God, her ass fat. You can't convince me that they didn't know what they were doing and that wasn't on purpose. In all honesty, I don't like people relegating folks to gooners for being against these changes either. First off, you're using the word wrong. Secondly, it's lame and it's pointless, and I'm saying this as someone who genuinely likes Rouge as a character. For realsies. Yes, I'm serious. If anything, the censorship relegates Rouge to just sex appeal, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, voice acting. Yeah, man, Mephiles was Garbo when I first heard him talk, which was probably after his first few lines when I realized I needed to turn up my volume first. What? Speak up! As it turns out, Robbie Damon is actually really good as Mephiles. He says the lines well, it's just too high-pitched.
Surely you can't be serious. Did you really think I'd fall for the same trick twice?
But as soon as you deepen the pitch...
Surely you can't be serious. Did you really think I'd fall for the same trick twice?
Oh yeah, that sounds perfect. Luckily, there's a mod for that, link in the description below. You know, I also think Patrick Seitz would have been pretty good as Mephiles.
What is your business with me, time traveler? Ridiculous. And you would stop them with this contemptible farce?
And while we're on the subject, seeing Mephiles again was so cool. It's one of those things you never thought would happen, and it was neat the way they built up the atmosphere leading to his boss fight, how he knows about the altering timeline. The timeline is something a bit iffy in the game as well, as it takes place as part of Sonic Generations, meaning that this is all before Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces and Frontiers, yet Shadow goes to Sunset Heights from Forces and Chaos Island from Frontiers. So the explanation is that white space exists outside of time, so it presents moments from the past as well as the future. That explains Sunset Heights, but not Chaos Island. Shadow wasn't in Frontiers. So my headcanon is that they hopefully use this as an opportunity to have Shadow go to Chaos Island in a future game and make it true. Or the stages actually all revolve around Sonic, since white space is based around Sonic's history anyways. Sonic has been to all of the stages shown in Shadow Generations except for Radical Highway, which we only ever see as a manifestation by Black Doom. And the explanation for that is likely just that Black Doom is pulling it out of Shadow's mind since they're connected. The story is much better than some of the stories we've gotten in the past. I was a big fan of Ian Flynn's writing towards the end of the Archie comics, so I'm not just some random hater when I say that the writing in Frontiers disappointed me. Again, to each their own, and I'll elaborate in another video, but in Shadow Generations, I was quite pleased. There's a few nitpicks though. Shadow telling Rouge in Dark Beginnings,
I have reason to believe the Black Arms have returned.
Then in the game he says,
I already told you. Gunn detected an unusual biosignature aboard the Ark.
He never mentioned the nightmare vision to her, so technically they could make the excuse that he just made up the Gunn anomaly thing, but nothing. Why did Rouge only agree to help Shadow get to the Ark if he came to Sonic's party, and then proceed to do so only to expect him to be at the party merely an hour after he got to the Ark?
I can take you to a ship, but in return you're going to have to promise to come to Sonic's birthday party.
I arrived at the space colony an hour ago.
Well, you're missing the birthday party. I hope you're planning on being here.
I think bringing back the fake emerald is cool, but pretending Shadow lost to Sonic out of ego and not to avoid, being taken over by his Doom powers, I don't buy it. Maybe I'm not supposed to, it isn't clear, but people think he lost on purpose to give Sonic the fake emerald and seem to think it's clever. I do not. I think it's dumb. It's a dumb plan if it was on purpose, because Sonic did Chaos Control with the fake emerald before, so if Sonic had the real emerald, Shadow should still be able to use the Chaos Control gameplay mechanic with the fake emerald. The Doom powers I mentioned and Chaos Control are both unique additions to the gameplay that were welcomed, the former being Shadow's version of the Wisp powers and the latter being basically the time switches from the Arc in SA2, allowing you to stop time when platforms are aligned a certain way. Yeah, both were fun and can be used in creative ways you like. I think my least favorite Doom powers were Surf and kinda Squid, but then again you got to be Spider-Man sometimes as Squid, so I don't know. But it's part of the story that Shadow is apparently letting Black Doom slowly take over his body to get stronger so he can defeat Black Doom before he's completely taken over. And Doom powers, but it's Maria's temporary return that allows Shadow to resist. In a way, it also kind of reminds me of Sonic Unleashed. With Maria and Gerald being back, Shadow struggles to get close and then to let go again. But during their time with us, we learned some new lore details, such as explaining the Robotnik family tree, briefly mentioning Maria and Eggman's fathers, as well as Maria having a sister. I have a small nitpick about the retcon that she lived on Earth and then was moved to the Ark, while it was previously implied that she grew up on the Ark.
Shadow, what do you think it's like on Earth?
But otherwise, whether you got the physical pamphlet or collected all the pages in-game, Gerald's diary is a masterpiece, detailing many detailed details and even connecting bits of info we got from different games, displaying word-for-word diary entries we've seen in Sonic Adventure 2 and even Sonic Battle. And this game does its job, preparing newcomers into the franchise, from giving you a briefing of Shadow's history prior to starting the game, alluding to past events without being on the nose, even bringing us the Sonic Jam and Dreamcast Sonic Adventure models as skins for Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic, and a deep cut skin for Shadow, a prototype version of him known as Terios the Tenrec. I spent many years knowing about this name and this design, and it's finally common knowledge to fans near and far. I kinda wish we also had a Sonic Adventure 2 skin for Shadow as well, but there's always mods. Heck, for me, even better, I found a mod that makes him skate while boosting, and it's his sick SA2 styled skating. It's not perfect, but I love it. Honestly, it's all I needed to make this game absolutely perfect for me. When Shadow Generations first came out, I was pretty excited for it, and it was a lot of fun. I've never been incredibly pessimistic about the series, but I've had less excited times here and there, and it was really nice to not just be satisfied, but also be really happy with the new title. Even newcomers to the franchise loved the game. That was an awesome feeling. As for right now, well, it's the first Sonic game in a while that, not after playing for a bit of time, I started to miss it. This review is how I feel now. There are probably some flaws in the game that I noticed in the past, but I've kinda sorta just forgotten about them in the wake of all the things that I love about the game. All I can think about are nitpicks that I can definitely live with. A year later, and I still recommend this game. I assume you've already played it, of course, either that or you are playing it real soon, right? Getting this game, watching Sonic Movie 3, playing Crossworlds, we're on a roll, so it just makes me hopeful for the future of the Sonic franchise going forward at this time, and that's all I have to say about this. Thanks for watching, don't forget to check out the voice actor video, look forward to more topics of discussion soon, but for now,
I'm out of here!